I am back. As if anybody cares, but I am back. Yes, I am, with episode number 2. So hit my intro. Welcome to the Bygone Room, and welcome to Yesteryear and Beyond. You know, I almost said the shorts, but I didn't, because I have returned from the land of the shorts. Yes, I have. I'm not saying I'm not going back there, but I've returned so I can bring you the second episode. Woohoo! 2 episodes finally. The second episode, the long-awaited episode. Well, I don't know how many people have actually been waiting. Maybe the 14 that actually watched the first one. But, hey, the Bygone Hunter here. Let me do the proper introductions here. The Bygone Hunter here, and I am finally back with second episode of Yesteryear and Beyond, and not the shorts. Okay, so, where have I been? Well, and why is it taking me so long to get, and you know, I've been advertising a second episode, okay, and I've been advertising Yesteryear and Beyond the show. You've seen those ads, I'm sure, if you've been watching my shorts. Now, if you haven't, you have no idea what I'm talking about, but that's okay. You can catch up. So, really, what's been going on? Why haven't I been? You know, why is it taking me so long to get this second episode out? The simple answer, and it can sound like a cop-out, but it's not. It's not. 2 words. Real life. Real life. You know, this is fun and all. This is enjoyable. But there are things that have to be set aside, that have to be put on the back burner in order to make room for real life. And yeah, there's a lot. I'm not going to go into any detail. Okay, that's not the thing here. But real life kind of stepped in and forced me to take a step back from doing this full show. And, you know, in the meantime, it actually gave me the opportunity to really start learning how to do the YouTube Shorts. And if you haven't seen them, then feel free to go to my channel, you know, go on in there and take a look at them. At this point, I think I have around close to 30 at this point. So feel free to check those out. And hey, if you have any comments, no, you cannot leave comments right here, but you can leave comments at this address right here. All right? So just let me know what you think. Let me know if you like it. Let me know if you don't like it. If you want to troll me, get that out of your system, go ahead. You know, you're not going to do it in the comment section. I'm not dealing with that, but you can email me. Okay? All right. So anyhow, getting back to what I was talking about, you know, the shorts. Look, it's a personal thing, and it's nothing against anyone who likes that form. I have never liked watching the vertical screen with the blurs on each, with the blurred, you know, images on the side. I've never really gone for that, and I don't know. I'm an old school person, and I've always thought that everything should be filmed in landscape. Okay? So, you know, that's what I'm used to. But then I thought about it, like, you know, I can knock out some of these little videos. I mean, even if I can't take time to sit here and film something like this and put something like this together, I'm pretty sure I can do some of these shorts and you know, and kind of get my feet wet on this whole process through that. And that's what I've been doing. And you know, it's a challenge. Those shorts are a challenge, a major, major challenge. Trying to get everything that I want to say, my complete point across in 3 minutes, and that includes the intro and whatever else I throw in there. That is a major, major, major challenge. But I've been trying to get, you know, I'm trying to nail that down, and I think I've gotten pretty close. I think I have. I thank anyone who actually is watching this and has watched the shorts. Thank you very much. I do appreciate that. It is a surprise. I didn't think anyone, you know, would be too interested in anything that I have to say or anything that I'm doing, but I really do appreciate that. And I look at the views on the channel, and look, my channel is already up to 700, I think 768 as of the time I'm filming this right now. I think it's 768, I believe. I think. And I know. Look, there's plenty of people out there that are filming these things, and they're looking at it like, and oh, by the way, this thing right here, this constant fidgeting, trust me, if I can find something to keep this from moving, okay? If I can find something to keep this from moving down, then I will stop adjusting this thing, because it keeps wanting to fall down all the time, and it bugs me. But or if I can just find one of these that is nice and form-fitting, it looks good on camera, and you know, I don't have to fidget with all the time. But anyhow, getting past that, so just, you know, bear with this for a while if you can, and if you can't, then go somewhere else. But anyhow, look, between real life and filming the YouTube shorts, I have kind of put filming a full-length video on the back burner. Also, and I'm going to be honest here with you, okay? I'm going to be truthful. When I saw that I only had 14, as of this filming right here, 14 views on my debut episode, well, I got a little disheartened, I got a little dejected. But at the same time, I also know that I'm brand new. I am brand new, I am unproven, I am untested. Not too many people know who I am, unless you've been looking at the shorts. Unless you've been watching my shorts, you don't know who I am. Take that for what it's worth. But anyhow, you know, I know that I'm brand new around here. I'm a newbie. For as old as I am, I'm still a newbie. And I'm still learning. I'm still learning how to do all the ins and outs. I'm watching all these different contradictory YouTube videos on analytics and how to do this and how to do that and how to get your numbers up and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, no matter how many times in the shorts that I have constantly said, hey, take the hour and 39-minute challenge and watch my debut episode of Yesteryear and Beyond. It didn't go very far. It really hasn't. It got a few extra views with all that, but I get it. Nobody wants to watch a brand new person for almost an hour and 40 minutes. Okay, I get it. I understand. However, I'm one of those people who have constantly, over and over again, taken chances on channels, on videos that I have never heard of before, that, you know, go in, they go in excess of an hour or more, you know. Sometimes I am hooked, and sometimes I'm like, maybe it'll be better next time. But at least I give them a shot. So that's all I'm saying. Hey, give me a shot. Give me a chance. If you want to. If you want to. If you don't, don't. Yeah, I don't care. At this point, I'm trying really hard just to convince myself I'm doing this just for the fun of it. I really am. But there is a small part of me that, because I'm not, look, first of all, I am not monetizing any of this. So it really is just a hobby. It's just for fun. But there is a small part of me that just can't help but look at the numbers and watch those. But I'm not letting those numbers drive me to, you know, do content that I just have no interest in. This right here, all this is my world. This is my content that I'm going to put out there. And if you want to watch it, watch it. If you don't, don't. It's your choice. All right. So hey, that's it. Guess it's time to move on to the next thing here, right? All right. So let's do that. Okay. And this does fit in with the whole yesteryear theme, okay? You know, when I was a kid and I was growing up watching television, yeah, it got to a point where you would have all kinds of different commercials out there that you had absolutely zero interest in. I mean, hey, as a kid, the only thing I cared about was toys, you know, the action figure commercials or cartoons, you know, stuff like that. But it's not like it is now at all. Because, I mean, it was probably about a month ago, you know, I'm flipping through the channels and you cannot watch. It seems like you cannot watch any channel anymore without coming across something very, very depressing. Okay? I mean, think about it. If it's not all of these prescription medication commercials, and yeah, it's depressing because when you start getting interested in it and you start thinking, hey, that actually might work for me, but then of course you're thinking, oh my gosh, I'm not old. When you start looking at the medication commercial and thinking, hey, that could help, that might help me, it's time to realize, yeah, you're starting to get old. But when you get to the end of these things, and then you start seeing all of the negative side of these side effects, all these things that these drugs that are supposed to help you, they can actually cause, they can do to you, all the negative things. It gets to be a pretty big downer. It really does. They build you up just to drop you. Now, then you go over to the other types of commercials. And these are those heart-wrenching commercials. I mean the ones that just, they want to tug, they want to rip your heart out, they want to pull at your heartstrings. you have to know where I'm going with this. We're talking about those ASPCA animal commercials. We're talking about the commercials for St. Jude, the Shriners Hospital, things like that. Where, okay, look, I get it, I understand. They have a job to do. They are trying to get you to donate money. Okay, that's what they're trying to do. You know that as well. I mean, that's how it is. And even back in the day, every so often you would see a commercial here or there. You would. But now, it's virtually every channel that you watch TV on. If you have ads, if you have commercial television, you are going to see, oh my gosh, you're going to see some heart-wrenching stuff. And you might be watching a show or a movie that's you're really into and it's really exciting, or it could be funny, it could be a comedy, it could be, and then here comes one of those sad commercials. It's like, oh jeez, and you want to flip the channel. And hey, if you got a DVR, you can DVR the whole thing and then you just fast forward through it. And no, hey, look, I don't believe that fast forwarding through these commercials makes you a heartless person. I just believe that all of these commercials is just flat out overkill. It doesn't matter what channel. It doesn't matter if it's a regular network channel. It doesn't matter if it's MeTV or Buzzer or FETV, all these retro show channels where you can sit there and watch Andy Griffith or Dragnet or Gunsmoke or Leave It to Beaver or things like that. But then or Buzzer, you can watch all those classic game shows, Classic Concentration, The Old Family Feud with Richard Dawson, Match Game, all those old shows. Card Sharks. But you pay the price for that kind of pleasure because there is no getting away from it. They are completely taken over by those commercials. By those sad, heartbreaking, heart-wrenching commercials. And when it's day in and day out, it's just flat out annoying. I mean, it really is. It's almost like you just don't want to put the channel on anything. And I know some people are like, well, I don't even watch cable TV anymore. I don't watch satellite TV. I don't watch commercial television anymore. I watch streaming and it's ad-free. Well, good for you. Give you a cookie. Glad you have the money to afford that. But I just long for the days when I can just sit back and turn on the TV, flip through the channels, find something I like, and just watch normal commercials. Just normal things. Please? Just normal things. I mean, and this technically, I don't consider this to be a rant, okay? I'm not opening the show with a rant. It's just this thing that deals with my past and how it was better back then compared to now. And the people who are watching TV now, who are growing up in this time frame, your millennials and your Gen Z, you really don't know what it was like. I mean, maybe the millennials do, because there's that line that kind of at that point there was that line that was starting to be drawn, where between the Gen X TV, where you didn't have all that extra stuff, all those sad commercials, the prescription medication commercials, and then you had the prescription medication commercials, and then the sad commercials, and all that stuff. So, you had that line. So the millennials kind of rode the line, but as the later millennials came into being and came into watching TV, they actually were brought up more on what we're seeing today. And Gen Z, oh, trust me, looking back at the way TV used to be in my time, in the 80s, the 70s, 80s, even in the 90s, they wouldn't believe it if they saw it. Okay, my gosh, we can actually get through a show and not, be brought down by so many commercials like that. But it's true. It is. I miss it. I really miss it, and I wish it would come back. But, you know, it's like that old saying, you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. You can't. It's just how it is. Anyway, that's my thought on that. So anyhow, look, when I come back, because I'm the only one doing this, okay? All right. There's no team. There's no one here but me. Take that back. 3 people. There's 3 people working on this show, okay? Me, myself, and I. Me, myself, and I. Me, myself, and I. That's it. If you want to look at it from that point of view, but technically it's just me. All right. When I return, when I come back, I have something a little different for you. How about that? All right. Oh yeah, hold on a second. After this message, I'll be right back. Yeah.
Kids are impressionable. That's why here at this station, we watch the programs and commercials your child watches carefully. He may see bad guys, but not in the role of heroes. And he'll learn that crime doesn't pay. Because your child's welfare is our concern, too. That's part of our code. The code of the National Association of Broadcasters for television and the greater public interest.
Old comic books. Read you some.
It's the Oldsmobile factory whistle. Day and night it calls Oldsmobile workers to Oldsmobile's #1 job. Production for national defense. Shell for the Army Artillery and automatic cannon for America's fighting planes. But to serve the vital needs of today's America, Oldsmobile goes still further. Oldsmobile contributes the B-44. Better looking, better lasting, better built than any car in Old's 44-year history. The Oldsmobile B-44, offered in 5 separate series. The 66 and 8, the 76 and 8, and the great 8-cylinder 90. All are Oldsmobile through and through, styled to stand out and designed to stand up.
Welcome back to Yesteryear and Beyond. In this segment, which I am calling the Bygone Bijou, oh, and by the way, I know how to spell bijou. It's just that with all the trademarks on the original spelling, I decided to come up with one of my own. So, it's just that simple. So you're just gonna have to get used to it, alright? Okay. Now, where was I? Oh yes, okay. In this segment, which I am calling the Bygone Bijou, I decided to break out the suit coat, try to class things up a little bit, and upgrade the vocal stylings in order to present to you something by the great Frank Capra. I'm sure you recognize Frank Capra's name from the great movie that we all see around the holidays called It's a Wonderful Life. It's basically a staple of Christmas. Well, I am going to show you something just as wonderful. Well, at least I hope you think so. It is a series of animated shorts. You will see the very first one right here. And it is called Private Snafu. Now, I could sit here and tell you all about Private Snafu. I could tell you about who directed it, like Friz Frayling and Bob Clampett, and a host of other that you already know, that you've heard of, if you are a huge fan of animation, like I am. But I'm not going to waste your time doing that, because you can easily just use the Google machine and read more about it yourself. So, without further ado, let's travel back to June 28th, 1942, as I proudly present to you Private Snafu.
Snafu. Situation normal. All fouled up. This is Snafu. Snafu's a soldier. He's a patriotic, conscientious guy. Thinks the Army's swell. That is, with a few minor changes. You'll find Snafu in all branches of the service, such as the infantry. In the matter of rolling a pack, Snafu has improved somewhat on the regulation Army method, resulting in a more compact kit. Snafu's a deep thinker.
There's a burlesque theater where the boys like to go to see Queenie the cutie, the burlesque show. Lo-dee-dee-dee-do-do-do-dee-da-dee-dum. The band plays a polka while she strips. Take it off, comes a cry from the rear. Down in front, soon it's all you can hear. And she's always a lady, even in pantomime, and she stops. And always just in time. Take it off, cry from the rear. Down in front, soon it's all. But she's always a lady in pantomime, and she stops, and always just in time. Listen, you guys, don't give me none of that stuff. I'm no dummy. I know my rights as a soldier. I want a lawyer! Get me a lawyer!
This is Snafu.
Now that you've seen part one of The Rabbit, let's turn to our Westinghouse program and Betty Furness. Hey, listen to this. Well, looks like Betty's getting something real interesting over that old crystal set.
I sure am. And I'm going to let you hear it.
Yes, now you can trade in your old radio, even one with earphones, on a beautiful new Westinghouse television set.
Just imagine being able to get a trade-in allowance on a practically prehistoric model like this when you buy a brand new big-screen Westinghouse television set. Or maybe you have an old crank-up phonograph like this up in your attic. Or perhaps a television set like this with a real small screen. Well, right now, your Westinghouse dealer will give you a bigger-than-ever trade-in allowance on any of these outdated models when you buy a beautiful new Westinghouse television set, like this table model, for instance, in a handsome mahogany cabinet with a huge 17-inch screen. Or perhaps you prefer a console, like this Westinghouse Brentwood, with the extra-large speaker for better sound. But whichever style and model you prefer, you're going to want a Westinghouse. And why? Well, for the best answer to that, ask a Westinghouse owner. A recent survey has showed that 7 out of 10 Westinghouse sets sold in the last few months were bought because someone who already owned a Westinghouse set raved about it to a friend or a neighbor. Now, you couldn't ask for a better or a more sincere recommendation than that, could you? You've probably heard the good news that the National Collegiate Athletic Association has chosen Westinghouse to sponsor their televised college football games this fall. So if you can't get to your favorite games in person, see them clearly with no picture waving and no sound distortion on a Westinghouse set. Westinghouse sets really top the market today. And remember that Westinghouse and only Westinghouse bring you the National Collegiate Athletic Association football games. Now, don't forget, if you have an old radio or phonograph or television set, see your Westinghouse dealer. Under the new federal regulations, the chances are that your trade-in allowance will cover the down payment. But, a word to the wise, this liberal offer can't last much longer, so tomorrow, see your Westinghouse dealer. Remember, you can be sure if it's Westinghouse.
Coming up, a feast of Famine Toy Hunt. Will it be disappointment? Will it be delight? You'll find out when I find out. Next.
I've seen hundreds of accidents on the freeway, and cars have been totaled, and people just walked away from them without...
One driver in 4 is involved in an auto accident each year.
Oh, I couldn't be bothered. They're too confining.
I suppose a day doesn't go by that I don't get in the car.
And many of the ones who had accidents also had good excuses for not wearing safety belts.
I don't know. I never use them just to go shopping. Besides, they wrinkle my dress.
Some excuses are good for broken bones and skull fractures.
Around town, they feel uncomfortable. And I like to relax when I drive.
There are 1,000,001 excuses for not wearing safety belts. Some are real killers.
I'm coming on in. Will it be disappointment? Will it be delight? Will it be boom or will it be bust? Heading on in. Okay. Once again, heading down the aisles. Let's see if there's anything good to find. Back to the masks. Oh, I just get a kick out of that thing. That is too funny. Wait, what is that? Oh my gosh! The Spider-Man Retro Wave finally hits Walmart. And there is Kane, and I need Kane. Wow. And there's Chameleon, and Spider-Man Unlimited, and Spider-Boy. Just like the Iron Man wave, it first hit Target for months, was at Target. And then they disappeared. And all of a sudden, months later, they show up at Walmart, and Spider-Man's the same way. And this cannot be right. Let's see. Legends. There's a possibility that that's $13. Maybe. Maybe that's correct. Wow. Unreal. You, my friend, you are coming home with me. Awesome. Yep. So I have all the ones in this wave that I actually care about. I'm not trying to get the entire wave because I really could care less about, you know, Electro's daughter. I think that's who that is. Yeah, I was really wanting this. I did not want to have to order this. Awesome. This is a win. This is most definitely a win. I don't even know if I have a place to put. Let's see. Let's see if I can do this. All right. Yeah, we'll move this out of the way for the moment. All right. Okay. And I really don't care about Spider-Boy. The main ones I do care about right there. That is awesome. All right. You are definitely coming home with me. I'm gonna have to check prices on those. All right, let's see what else. Anything else? Any more surprises? Looks like the, wow. The McFarlanes they have left down to 8, at least a few of them. Still no new superpowers. Dr. Fate. I'm just not into a lot of those alternate reality, alternate universe figures. I'm not really seeing anything worth anything. It's any different. See, I mean, look, there's not anything new. Another toy hunt, another toy drop. All right, so that's it. Nothing new in this regard. None of the new lines are hitting the stores yet. Everything seems to be online when it comes to Masters of the Universe. But so if I'm going kind of fast, that's really because there's nothing else to show. All right, on to the next aisle, and that would be the collectibles aisle. Okay, collectibles aisle. Let's see. And they still have Red Hood, the animated Red Hood. Nobody wants him. I kind of do, kind of. The problem is he only shows up in the comic book. The Sectors are still here, and they still refuse to put those on sale. There's Huntress, Green Arrow. You know, the last time I came, Huntress was gone, so I don't know what happened. Uh-oh, the Atom. I don't know if he was here before or not. I can't remember. That's kind of neat. That's kind of Yeah, I already have him now, but yeah. Very cool, very, very cool. Here, let's just come over here. How about that? There's a digital there. Okay. Is there anything else? I am not seeing anything else. No. Everything else is... Let's go over here and look. Got the horror section over here. Got a Chucky that nobody wants. And some more in the Toxic Crusaders line. I'm just gonna do what I did last time with Toxie. I'm just gonna Toxic Avenger. I'm just gonna wait for this Dr. Kill-'Em-Off to go on clearance. It's gonna take months because Walmart is like that. They take forever. Why do so many people love the villain? I just don't get it. Especially if you're gonna pay, especially to pay $35. Wow. All right, I do believe that's it. So, nothing really, anything else. Some embossed wall art. Metal embossed wall art. Yeah, no. All right. So, I guess that's it. Toy rockets in flight. This was a delight. Check her out. Yep, there it is. Kane. And unfortunately, he was not $13. He was full price. So, but I got him. That's it. That's awesome. This was definitely a boom. This was definitely delight.
The big idea, if you've got time enough to swing it, is to shield yourself by thick, strong, heavy material like reinforced concrete from the A-bomb's blast. And heat. Do that, and you'll also be protecting your hide from its radiations. A lot of people, including you men fairly new to the service, got the notion that radiations are like the double whammy turned on by Evil Eye Flegel, the comic strip character. Irresistible, I mean. Well, you're wrong. They're mighty penetrating and deadly, but they can be stopped. Authorities know exactly what it takes. Just what thickness of steel, concrete, or wood will do the trick. But you're no authority. Even if you were, you haven't got your tape measure or calipers with you. Even if you had them, you wouldn't have time to use them. You're just a guy trying to get along. And fast. A heavy wall between you and the source of the blast will cut off most of the radiation barrage. But you don't know where the source will be. And radiations can scatter and bounce off the air the way a basketball bounces off the backboard. What you want, then, is a spot that shields you above and all around. That's if you can find it without wasting time.
Promotional consideration not paid for by the following.
Presenting the case of the littering louse.
Remember, kids, don't be a dirty bird. Give a hoot. Don't pollute.
The Bygone Hunter here, and when I'm not reading old comic books, or hunting action figures, or playing old video games, or watching YouTube videos, or just dealing with daily life, I'm creating content for my show, Yesteryear and Beyond, seen exclusively right here on YouTube. Get your eyes on it.
If this is your idea of what a comic shop is like, think again. Welcome to Flying Colors, Comics, and Other Cool Stuff. Our award-winning store is full of fun for the entire family, with Contra Costa's best array of comics from the Golden Age on up to today's favorites. Plus, you'll find trading cards, toys, gifts, and like we said, other cool stuff. Register today to win in our monthly Cool Stuff contest, Flying Colors Comics and other cool stuff. Remember, when it happens in comics, it happens in flying colors.
I'm going to close this show out with this segment, Tales from the Bygone Room. And I know in the first episode I said I was going to talk to you, or I was going to say, if you watched the first episode, I was going to kind of continue the story that I had started in that episode, continue on about the situations that I had dealing with a particular scalper when I was at a Toys R Us way back in, I think, 1995, I believe. I'm going to hold off on that, all right? Okay, I'm going to close off with something a little different this time. I will get back to that, though, all right? I promise, I will get back to that, though. But I want to just kind of share with you some things that I like, that I enjoy growing up as a kid. And a lot of this, I mean, this stuff all came from my collection growing up. I do have other things that I have picked up over the years. You know, things that I've wanted, couldn't afford at the time. Now I can, so I picked those up. But the stuff that I have in my hand right here, I wanted to pull from my my old collection and just kind of give you an idea of what I like and what I always like to read and what I grew up on, all right? And I will go into more in depth with that in future episodes. Also, I may go into more detail. It's gonna be hard, but to do it in that format. But you know, continue to look out for my shorts. It is so strange to say, but continue to look out for my shorts, and I'll probably go into, you know, a little bit of detail as far as some of these things go, okay? Some of this extra stuff goes. Look, right here, I keep fiddling around with this thing, but look at this. This issue of Avengers right here, all right? with the Wizard. I know nowadays that's got to be one of the funniest names for a superhero, but the Wizard. You know, he's been around since the 1940s, and they brought him back. Marvel brought him back in the 70s. But he was pretty much Marvel's version of the Flash, of Jay Garrick's Flash. But you know, that great Jack Kirby cover right there. I mean, I love Kirby, and I'll go into some more detail about that in a future episode. But you know, we got this from the 70s. Then you jump into the 80s with the Simonson Thor, And this one right here, I believe, yeah, this was during the Mutant Massacre that was going on at the time. The big thing in the 80s when it came to the X-Men titles. Yeah, this is great right here. This is Thor issue. But then, you know, you head back to the 70s and you get the half-naked heroes like Tarzan and Kazar right here. Kazar, love Kazar and Sabu. And hey, if you were able to pick up a Kazar Marvel Legends, good for you. Hey, I love it. I know it's a basic figure. I know there's not a whole lot to it, but just to have that kind of of character representation from like an old comic book, that's great. That's fantastic. And then, of course, you know, I have stuff like the team-up books, Marvel 2-in-1 right here. I don't know if it's being, you know, I can't figure out where it is on in screen, you know, in frame. So let's just do it this way. And you get your Marvel 2-in-1, you get the Thing, and the Man Called Nova. Yes, the original Nova, Richard Rider, the only Nova as far as I'm concerned. And then you got Brave and the Bold. I definitely have stories to talk about when it comes to Brave and the Bold and DC Comics Presents. These team-up books are fantastic. And I know that a lot of people were thinking, well, you know what, those aren't even in canon. I could care less if they're in canon. They're in canon up here in my brain. All right? They're in canon in my heart. They're in canon in my imagination. I could care less if they're in canon when it comes to everything. Of course, you know, now, unless something's changed, because of the whole Omniverse thing and whatever else they did with the whatever other verse kind of thing going on that DC came up with, supposedly everything is in canon. Absolutely every story, everything. Very confusing, but that's how it goes. But anyway, these Brave and the Bold issues, I love these things. These are fantastic. If you can find these, pick them up. Then came my, these were actually my introduction to the old stories, the old 60s stories, the original stories, when it came to all my favorite comics at the time in the 80s. You know, when I was introduced to the X-Men, then I was also introduced pretty much at the exact same time to the old reprints of the 60s X-Men. So I was able to get the best of both worlds at that point. And I'll go into more detail about that particular subject at a later date. But right here, you know, when I first came across Spider-Man in a comic book, that was when I was in 2nd grade. And it was an issue of Spider-Man. It was an issue of Marvel Team Up. They had Spider-Man and Ghost Rider. And it wasn't my book, trust me. My mother had absolutely no interest in me reading anything when it came to Marvel. I don't know why. I have no idea. But she didn't like that. And she absolutely would have just hit the roof if she would have known that I was reading anything about Ghost Rider, a character called Ghost Rider. This demon motorcycle rider with a skull head. She would have just hit the roof if she'd have known I was reading that. But I was reading it in school because I had a classmate that brought it to school. So that was my introduction to Marvel Comics at the time. I was actually introduced to Marvel Heroes prior to that with the old Marvel Superheroes reruns from the 60s. And some like Little Golden Book type things when it came to Marvel. But, you know, when it came to comics, that came much, much later in life. But when I started reading those, then I started coming across these Marvel tales, okay? And I didn't even realize at the time. I didn't, unless, I think, if I remember right, I know with the X-Men ones, but with these, I think with these, they still also have the little line on the side of the splash page where it says, originally published in 1960 this, 1960 that, so on and so forth. But these right here, these are absolutely fantastic. And you know the crazy thing is, these have gone up so much in popularity that it's hard to get these at a decent price anymore. These are just reprints, just normal reprints from the 80s. These reprint all the original Ditko stories back from the 60s, and I love it. I love these. I mean, look, the first appearance of the Green Goblin right here, right there, and then you have the return of Dr. Octopus, and then you have the story we have Spider-Man teaming up with the Human Torch, and then you have the return of the Green Goblin. So stuff like this, these Marvel tales are just amazing. Now, you know, I realized, you know, as time went on, I started to realize that Marvel Tales was pretty much a reprint book. I mean, it had a big history of reprinting old classic material. In fact, you know, you go back further in Marvel Tales lineage, and you will see that Marvel Tales had a history of reprinting some of the old 40s stories. So you like the All Winners comics, and you know, so you see stuff like Captain America, the Wizard, let's see, Miss America, stuff like that, back from when they appeared in the 40s during World War II. So those in and of themselves are amazing as well. But you know, my heart will always go towards the stuff from the 70s and 80s. I mean, that's where everything is. And the stuff that I can find that can take me back to my childhood, if even for just a small, an infinitesimal, just a moment out of the great span of time in the universe. And I know I'm starting to sound like somewhere a cross between Randy Savage and the Ultimate Warrior, where I'm not making any sense at all, but bear with me, okay? I guess I'm just trying to, I'm overdoing it here, but let me pull it back a little bit. And I just want to say that if you have a chance to grab those old reprint books from the 80s, dealing with all those original stories in the 60s, grab them, pick them up. Just get one copy, okay? Just do me a favor, just one copy, and leave the rest for another collector, all right? But pick them up, pull them out of their sleeves. Please, I'm begging you, don't slap these things. But pick them up, take them out of their sleeves, and enjoy the ride. Enjoy the ride back to the 80s, which also will take you back even further to the 60s. Okay? Have fun with it. Enjoy it. That's what all this is about. All this should not be so much about the money. The money. No, it shouldn't be. It should be about the experience, the fun, the enjoyment. You weren't worrying about the money when you were a kid. When you're sitting there laying on your bed and you had a whole stack of these things just sprawled out on your bed. And I know back then you didn't have it in plastic like this, but when you had them just laying all over your bed and you're laying on your stomach and you got the TV going and you're reading your comics and you're having a great time, try to remember what it was like back then. Try to remember what it was like to have that kind of fun. And if you have kids, I know it's hard. I do. I know it's tough to try to pull them into your hobby. Try to get them to experience through your eyes. That's tough, because a lot of times, you know, kids now, the kids will pull away. They don't want anything to do with it. That's dad's thing. That's mom's thing. Doesn't have to be. But don't force it on them. Just try to get them kind of eased into it. And if they don't want to, don't bring them in kicking and screaming. Just deal with the fact that it's not going to work out. But maybe down the road, they might see how much fun you're having, how much enjoyment you're deriving from going back in time by looking at all this stuff. And yeah, it's not just comics. I mean, it's the action figures too. It's the toys, all this stuff, the superpowers, the Marvel Legends. I mean, all these things. Yeah. And I know to a lot of people, it's just stuff, just things. And somehow they can't really associate experiences with stuff and things. But I do. I do. Because that's how I grew up. I grew up with stuff and things. I'm not saying wealthy or anything. I'm just saying that I grew up when I didn't have friends to hang out with. I mean, when I didn't have friends to hang out with, these are my friends. Right here. These are my friends. This action figure. Just how it was. Anyhow, look. That's it. So, that's it for now. I'm still kind of getting used to how to end this thing. So I'm going to say this much. Thank you for watching. I'll just be... it's going to sound generic. Everybody else said it. But I'm just going to put it this way. And I know I talk a lot with my hands. It's just how I am. Hey, it's just how I am. You know, Italian like to do that. But it's just how I am. So, that's just how it is. But I want to say thank you for watching. I appreciate it. I hope you come back next time. I really do. I am not going to sit here and beg for you to subscribe to my channel. It'd be nice if you did. That's cool. If you like what you see, great. If you don't, that's your deal. It's your business. You can feel free to move on. But if you do like what you see, hey, let me know. Drop me a line at this email right here, and let me know what you think. Okay? I know you're probably gonna have some things about all these improvements that can be made, and all these things that I'm doing wrong, and all. Big deal. You can say what you want to say. That's fine. I'll take to heart what I choose to take to heart, but I'm gonna do things pretty much the way I like doing them. And if I start doing things the way other people suggest that I do them, it's not coming from me anymore. So it's got to come from me to be enjoyable. Okay. So there are some technical things I'm sure that I can learn from other people, technical things. But as far as the way I set things up, the way I do things, that's just coming right here. It's coming from right here. Okay. So anyhow, I know I'm rambling once again here, but thank you for watching. I really do appreciate it. And hey, yesteryear and beyond, whether it be this show, the main show, the mothership, if you will, or the shorts, yesteryear and beyond, get your eyes on. Adios.
Bye.